Hello, hello, testing, testing. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is from the water that I drank before and I spilled. Wait, I think I'm gonna need to put some batteries on this thing. Where do I have the batteries? That is a very good question. Let me check. Here. Yoo-hoo, do I have batteries left? Oh. Oh no. Wait. Am I out of batteries? No. Oh no, I do have batteries. We have a proverb in Spain that says the one whoever keeps then finds, or something like that. If you keep stuff in safe, stored, and in order, then you will find it eventually. What is this? Okay. Hey, how is it going? Hamitreza, how you doing? Arasto, good to see you, sir. Bartulokumsu. Have we met before? I'm not sure if I remember seeing you around. Welcome. It's a pleasure. Give me a second. I'm going to change the microphone batteries. Hold on. Hello, can you hear me? Yes. Hello. Alrighty. Michael, welcome. Kivias, good to see you. Hi. How's it going? Alrighty. Oh, okay. So, give me 1 second to set up myself mentally. Go to. Hello, sir. Okay. So, give me 1 second. I need to look something up. Yes. All right. So, yes. So let's start. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, however, whatever, whenever this live streams might find you. My name is Jose Luis, and for those of you who may not know me, I run this thing called Parametric Camp. We do live streams mostly every Friday, but not really quite. It's especially in the summer, the schedule changes a lot. And so we go live. We just we go live. We do some tutorials. We do fun exercises, and we focus on computational design, whatever that means. Which typically means using technology and using code for doing cool visual, graphical design stuff and artsy stuff. For those of you who already know us, and I see many familiar faces on the chat already. Kartik, good to see you. You're not. You just got to the party right at the point. And S. Romero, I don't think we've seen each other before. Welcome to the channel. And for those of you who already know us, welcome back. I'm very happy to be here and hanging out. So let me say a few things. For those of you who might be new to the channel, we have a Discord server that we use to have offline conversations throughout the week. And I announce when we go live, and we have chats, we have like channels where people can post questions, C#, Grasshopper, everything, right? And we also announce when we go live on our social media. We use especially Instagram and Twitter. I don't really use Twitter that much lately, but mostly Instagram, but a lot of Twitter as well. And if you really want to stay up to date on when we go live, we have a Google Calendar where I post the events when we go live or when we do things. So if you want to subscribe to that, it will show up on your calendar. Okay? All right. And so what's going on? Well, as many of you already know, in the past month, we finished Introduction to Parametric Modeling. Yoo-hoo! How awesome was that, huh? So we did a live stream hackathon or whatever that is called, and we recorded a ton of tutorials and we finished the playlist Introduction to Parametric Modeling, which I'm very happy about. Because now whoever wants to learn parametric modeling from scratch, including Rhino and including Grasshopper, then they can just watch the full playlist. Actually, we did record all the videos and we edited them and they are scheduled for publishing. They just publish one every day. So you're going to be seeing notifications on your phone if you subscribe to this channel when the videos pop up, when the videos are published. And I think we have like a backlog of videos that are going to be being published until August or something like that, which is great. And if you can't wait to see the whole playlist and all the content that we recorded, you always have the live streams. You can just go to the live streams and check the raw unedited video if you want. So that's great. So we finished that, and then I took a couple of weeks of vacation. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but I've been posting a lot of videos. I took a free diving course, so I was like in the ocean, just like diving and with the fish and with the squid and turtles. It was really, really, really cool. And for those of you who know him, I was doing this with Nono Martinez Alonso from the other channel. He's a longtime friend. So we met in Spain and we just went free diving. It was really, really cool. So I'm back. I'm going to be recording today. We're going to do it's going to be lightweight because I'm still transitioning between the parametric modeling playlist, which took some time and quite some energy. So I'm transitioning from that into what I want to do next, which I think is going to be some kind of new playlist, which is going to focus on C# programming within Grasshopper and for Grasshopper. Because we have Introduction to Parametric Modeling, which is great for as starters. We also have the other playlist, Learning C#, where I teach you how to write computer code with no assumptions. So now it's a really good moment to mix them both and to teach you how to write C# code inside of Grasshopper, and then how to make it really cool, and how to write your own plugins, and how to create dynamic simulations and all those things. We're gonna do a lot of that, and I think I will want to start recording that in August. Yes, because I'm going to be live streaming this week, so today, and hopefully next week, I think so. But I'm going to be taking the month of July off. So even though I don't think I need to take completely off. I will not be recording tutorials, but maybe we can do like I don't know, like a summer gathering, just jump on a Zoom call, something like that, you know? Maybe. But then what are we doing today? Today I'm going to take a few minutes to re-record part of the introduction video to the parametric modeling list, which I didn't really quite like. And so there's a couple of things that I want to change for the introduction video. And then after that, we're going to do a video that I had in the backlog. Remember when we did the Fun with WebSockets playlist? There was, when we were recording the Python server, it got quite messy. I didn't quite get it right. And then I kind of abandoned that. So with the help of Salvador, who's also part of the community, we put together a nice WebSocket server example in Python. So I think I want to record a video today, which is going to be that. It's going to be how to write a WebSocket server in Python. And then we're going to insert that on the playlist, Fun with WebSockets. I think that's what we're going to do today. And then I think that shouldn't take more than an hour. So we might be able to do a little bit of Q&A, social, etc., etc. Anya, how you doing? Good to see you. Oh yeah, Arasta, you just got vaccinated. I saw that on Instagram. Good thing. Congratulations. That's very nice. Okay, so shall we get started? Is that what we're doing? Okay. All right. So I think the video that I wanted to do. All right. So let me 1 minute that I need to think. Pedro Cortez. I look like always. I'm not sure how to take that. Should I? Did you expect me to look older or something? Is that what's happening? All right. So, what did I want to do? Oh, maybe I want to watch the video a little. Let me watch the video to see what I was saying and what do I want to say instead. So let's do that. Oh, this is not the desktop that I want. Oh, what? Wait, this is not the desktop that I want to show. How did this? Oh, why did this? Interesting. This one. Uh-huh. Okay. Are we doing sketchbooking today? No, we're not. So I don't need my laptop. All right. So the video that I did that I want to edit looks something like this. It's this one here. Hello, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and I would like to welcome you to my new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. In this series, I have designed a curriculum that I would like to use to walk you through the art of creating three-dimensional form using algorithms and using rules. And the software that we will be using in this playlist is going to be Grasshopper, which is a visual programming language for the 3D modeling environment called Rhino. It's going to be an introductory playlist because I'm going to assume that you know absolutely nothing, and I'm going to take a few notes. Sorry. Let me take a few notes because I really want to get this video right. So this is going to be a little boring. I apologize, but it is what it is. So that. Okay, so I want to change that. Okay, and then I want to change this and to say okay. To teach you all the basics and all the fundamentals that you need to learn in order to understand the fundamentals of modeling using parameters and using rules, and at the same time okay, so I'm going to do this. Okay. And then Jordi Hurtado. That was a terrible joke, Pedro. I don't know how to take that. For those of you who might not, for those of you who might not get the joke, Jordi Hurtado is this TV host in Spain who has been conducting this TV show for like I don't know, 2 decades already. And it's kind of funny because he looks exactly the same as 20 years ago. So the running joke in Spain is that Jordi Hurtado has like a pact with has a deal with the devil or something, and he preserves himself exactly. All right. I have decided I'm going to take that as a compliment, Pedro. Okay? Yeah. So so long as my hair doesn't go any more grayer, I would sign off on that one. So no more gray hair. I wanna stay as I am. Can I do that? Can you help me with that, Pedro? Can you talk to Jordi and figure out his secret? The particular software that we will be using for these videos. So what can you expect to use? All right, and that's what I want to make the switch. So I want to talk until then, and then yes, and then learn on this series. Well, first of all, I will talk a lot about. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is okay. So I have this background here, and I have the structure of what I want to say here. So okay. So let's try that. Hello, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and I would like to welcome you to my new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. All right, so yeah, let's get started. So again, as I said, what we're going to do today, I just need to record like a 2-minute intro video that I need to edit into the previous one that we did. So I'm going to do that right now. And then after that, we're going to get into writing a WebSocket server in Python, Anyway, but we have to deal with it. All right, so let's do this. Oh, oh. Ooh, how is my hair? Is it good, Pedro? Also, I think. Wait. Yes, I think the hair in the video is a little crazier. Wait. Because I need to look like the video, right? Should I? Wait. Wait. In this series. Yes, so I need to look a little bit like, no? Is that better? No. How is that? Wait. So here and here, here and here, here and here. Oh, this is cool. Wait. Here, here, here. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm gonna stop because otherwise I can spend all morning just goofing with the thing. So, mm, and the color is different. Yeah, because I was on the beach, so I'm a little more tanned than there. It doesn't matter. Does it matter? Nah, I don't think it matters that much. It's fine. So, yeah. All right. So I'm going to stop this and I'm going to get busy because otherwise we're never going to do this. All right. Am I recording? Yes. Wow, I haven't done this in 2 weeks and I'm kind of like, I'm kind of. All right, let's get back to it. Sorry. Okay. Let's focus. Whew. Hi, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and I would like to welcome you to my new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. In this series, I have designed a curriculum where what I would like to do is I would like to introduce you to the art of parametric modeling. But what is actually parametric modeling? You may have heard a bunch of terms: parametric design, algorithmic design, evolutionary design, generative design, all these guys, all these weird terms, which are starting over again. We're starting over again. What do I want to say? Um, mhm, mhm. Okay. All right. Yes. Do I want to get into that conversation so early in the introduction of the video? Huh. Is it going to be more confusing than helpful? Mm, that's a good question. Okay. I'm just going to record it, and then if it doesn't sound right, I just won't edit it. It's fine. So let's just do it. All right. Hi, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and I would like to welcome you to this new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. In this series, we have designed a curriculum where what I would like to do is introduce you to the art of parametric modeling, or in other words, of using algorithms to generate three-dimensional form. So I will get much deeper into what parametric modeling is farther down in this series, in the videos, but in general, you may have heard a lot of terms such as parametric design, algorithmic modeling, generative design, evolutionary, genetic design. All of those, in a way, they're all shades of the same root, which is using computational techniques to generate three-dimensional form. And also, these are all a subset of something that I think is a larger umbrella, which is computational design, which is a more ample term for anything that involves using computers, using technology, and using code to generate designs, to generate art, and to generate three-dimensional form. So in this series, what I would like to teach you is how to do parametric modeling, which is how to use parameters, hence the name of the term, and how to define the structure of the relationships between the parameters in order to generate a process that leads to the generation of three-dimensional form. Okay. Sometimes this is referred to as procedural modeling, because what we do here, instead of focusing on the geometry and designing the geometry, what we do is we focus on designing the structure of relationships, aka the algorithm that leads to the generation of a particular form from a set of inputs. I will explain much more of what that means in this series further down the videos, but what you can, and was I, let's start over again. Was I getting too much in the weeds? I think I'm getting too much in the weeds of things. Yeah, I think I'm getting too much. All right, so I'm going to start over again. Starting over again. Hi, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and I would like to welcome you to our new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. In this series, what we have done is that we have designed a curriculum where I would like to introduce you to the art of parametric modeling, which is basically how to use computer code and how now, starting over again. What do I want to say? Which is the art of using algorithms and rules to generate three-dimensional form. For example, let's start with that. I'm gonna do that. Hi, this is Jose Luis here in Parametric Camp, and I would like to introduce you to our new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. In this series, we have designed a curriculum where I would like to introduce you to parametric modeling, which could be understood as the art of using rules and using algorithms to generate three-dimensional form. You may have heard out there in the wild a lot of terms such as parametric design, algorithmic design, generative design, evolutionary, genetic design, whatever. All of those, at the end of the day, they are shades of a same root, which is using computational techniques. I don't want to get in. Why do I get into that? Now, let's change this. I have it written. I have it written, but I think that's the problem because it's written. Now I'm kind of messing it up and I always end up just following there. Okay. I think I got it now. So let's try now. Hi, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and I would like to welcome you to our new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. In this series, I have designed a curriculum where I would like to introduce you from scratch, with no assumptions and no previous knowledge whatsoever, to the art of parametric modeling. But what is parametric modeling in the first place? Well, if you have ever modeled a 3D object in the classic way, what you have is some kind of software where you can create geometrical operations, and through a series of operations, you end up with some complex form, right? However, that way of modeling form has a problem, which is that all the operations that you follow one after the other get lost in the sequence. And if you ever want to change some of the values or the parameters of the operations that you did previously, you have to undo stuff and then redo them again, which is not a very nice process. So parametric modeling is basically the art of focusing not on the geometry, but focusing on the process that leads to the generation of the geometry, and starting from a series of parameters, designing the structure of the rules that you need to follow in order to achieve a complex three-dimensional object. This is why it's called sometimes procedural modeling, even though you will also hear a lot of terms such as parametric design, algorithmic design, generative design, evolutionary, genetic, whatever. They're all, at the end of the day, different shades of the same root, which is using computational techniques to generate three-dimensional form. Okay? And this is also a subset of what I call, in general, computational design, which is a more ample term to encompass not only 3D form, but other designs, graphic design, art, installations, etc., etc. So, but don't bother too much about it, because I'm going to get into the details of what parametric modeling is much in this playlist. So what we're going to be doing in this playlist is that I'm going to be teaching you how to use parametric modeling. Bluff, bluff, I lost it. But that was good. It was getting somewhere. Do I want to get into the whole static versus... I'm actually thinking, the more I think about it, the more I think the more I think about it, the more I think that just being simple about this introduction is just better. I don't want to talk too much. As opposed to conventional 3D modeling, where we... Mhm, mhm. Okay. Let me do that again. Let me try again. Mhm. Hi, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and I would like to welcome you to our new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. In this series, we have designed a curriculum where we would like to introduce you from the beginning, from scratch, and with no previous assumptions, to the art of parametric modeling, which is um, which is should I which is uh, this is difficult. Because I really want to get this right because it's the first video on the playlist. So if people don't get it, then so I would like to make sure that it's condensed description. You're right. Yes, I need to do that. Hmm. Okay. All right. Let's try again. Um, uh, I know. I actually have it written here, but I think I have too much stuff. I'm just not liking it when it comes out, you know? Hmm. All right, let's try again. What I don't have is like the exact words that I want to use. I have the concepts of what I want to say. Maybe I should write the actual words. I I don't really like that. It doesn't. Whenever you read something, it sounds like canned. It sounds like very artificial. I think I'd rather just wing it a little bit. Let's try again. Hi, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and I would like to welcome you to our new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. In this series, I have designed a curriculum to introduce you from the very beginning, from scratch, and with no previous assumptions whatsoever, into the art of parametric modeling. Parametric modeling is a technique into the art of parametric modeling. Um, Parametric modeling, which is the art of... Okay, let's do it that way. Hi, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and I would like to welcome you to our new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. In this series, we have designed a curriculum where I would like to introduce you from scratch with no assumptions and no previous knowledge to parametric modeling, which is the art of using rules and using algorithms to generate three-dimensional form. Okay, so that was good. And then what do I say afterwards? I say, this is important because if you've ever 3D model, okay. Hi, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and I would like to welcome you to our new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. In this series, I have designed a curriculum where I would like to introduce you gradually from the beginning, with no assumptions and no previous knowledge required, to the art of parametric modeling. Parametric modeling is the art of creating three-dimensional form using algorithms and designing the rules that lead to that form. And this is important because if you have ever used 3D modeling software, the way it typically works is that you click, you point, you type some numbers, etc., and you create a sequence of operations that lead to a complex three-dimensional object. But if you ever wanted to change any of the values of any of the operations, if you ever wanted to modify them, you have to either undo your actions and go back. You don't have a what? Do I want to get into that? This is getting a little too much, I think. I don't know. Maybe this is just not happening. Okay, what do I want to say? I want to say welcome, intro. I want to say what parametric. I want to define very briefly what parametric modeling is. And I want to compare that with static modeling, with conventional 3D modeling. With conventional 3D modeling only. And I may want to all right. Let me try one more time and see where we go. This is the problem of not having coffee. I did not drink coffee at all today, and here we are. You see? You see the problem with that? All right, let's try again. Hi, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and I would like to welcome you to our new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. In this series, I have designed a curriculum where I would like to introduce you gradually and starting from scratch, no previous assumptions or knowledge required. I would like to introduce you to the art of parametric modeling. Parametric modeling is the art of designing three-dimensional form by focusing on the algorithms and focusing on the rules that lead to the generation of that form. And this is important because if you have used conventional 3D modeling environments, you might be used to the click and drag and operation and entering values paradigm where you generate form by a sequence of operations that you do one after the other. The problem with that is that because the structure of those relations is not explicit, then if you ever want to change any of the operations beforehand or the values that led to this form, you either have to undo back your operations or you don't have a way of parametrically changing that. So what parametric modeling gives us is a change in paradigm where, because we're focusing on designing those rules, then at any point, once the whole structure of the algorithm is in place, we can go back to the parameters, we can change things, and then the generation, the form will update automatically, etc., etc. etc., etc. Why do I say etc., etc.? I ruined it. That was going well. That was going well, and I ruined it with etc., etc. Okay, but we're getting closer. So let's try again. Hi, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and I would like to welcome you to our new series, Introduction to Parametric Modeling. In this series, I would like to introduce you from the beginning, no previous knowledge required and no assumptions. I would like to introduce you to the art of parametric modeling, which is using rules and using algorithms to create three-dimensional form. Why is this important? It's important because if you have used conventional 3D modeling environments, you might be used to generating shapes by clicking in a bunch of places on the screen, generating operations, inputting a certain amount of values in a sequence that leads to your final form. The problem with that is that this process is very static because since the structure of those operations is not explicit anywhere, if you ever need to change any of the operations that you did before or any of the values that you input for some form, you have to either undo things or you don't have a way of procedurally or parametrically change those values. So parametric modeling is a step forward in that process because since all the parameters are explicit and since the structure of the relationships has been designed by yourself, then going back to that design, changing those parameters and seeing how that affect the forms is a paradigm shift and is a huge advantage in this process. So you may have heard parametric design, algorithmic design, evolutionary, genetic, whatever. You may have heard all these terms. At the end of the day, they're all pretty much synonyms of what we're going to be doing here with different shades perhaps. And they all fall under the larger umbrella of computational design, which is kind of what we do here in the channel, in Parametric Camp. So, but don't worry too much because I will explain further down in this playlist in other videos more in detail what parametric modeling is. So in this series, we're going to be using rhinoceros, which is a nerves modeling environment, but we're going to be learning a lot of what's called Grasshopper, which is a visual programming language that is associated to rhinoceros, to the modeling environment, and that we can use to define all these rules and to generate all these algorithms for the generation of three-dimensional form. However, even though you're going to be learning Rhino and Grasshopper in this playlist, many of the logics and many of the principles that you will be learning here will apply to other environments that use this paradigm, such as, for example, Dynamo for Revit, such as VVVVV, such as Touch Designer, such as Fusion 360, many other environments that use this idea of explicitly designing the rules that lead to some dimensional form. Okay? All right, I think that was it. Woohoo! We did it. Because I think at that point, I would be linking to the other video that I did already, where I start, and that is the part where I want to link. Okay, so we're good. We're good. Woohoo! Alrighty. So we're back to computational design. Welcome everyone. Nylan, good to see you. Vias, how did it feel? My Chinese speaking, huh? All right. It was bonito. You're right. Okay. So what is coming up next? Yes, we are writing a WebSocket server in Python. I know. What kind of a crazy summer, huh? We're writing Python and stuff. This is something I think I hit my head with a rock when I was diving and now I want to write Python code. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna take a 1 minute break. I will be right back. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Alrighty. So let me get set up with what are we doing today. So let me open some Visual Studio Code. So we have here we have our client, and this worked, right? Because and then Python client and simple WebSocket server. And I forget in the previous video, where did we connect this to? Where did we have the sync chasing ball? Was this? Is this what? Okay. Yes. So this is what. So this was the sync ball, and then here was the. I'm going to. Oh, and I need to wait. The theme needs to be. This was the theme that we were using back in the other video. And I was here on this side on the video, right? Yes, I was on this side.
Hi.
Oh, okay. So we had this. So we had this. We had created the. We had created the simple client that could connect to the WebSocket server, and we could sync this. All right. So how am I going to transition? So what I'm going to say is that I want to do an echo server, and the echo server needs to. So I'm basically not going to. I'm not going to use any of this, I think, then. And I can probably close the terminal and just open a new terminal. And okay, and open a new terminal here and open this, and then I can start the video. So we're going to do as we typically do. I will record the intro at the end, but we're going to start by connecting with the previous video, which was that I did this and it connected with the sync chasing ball. So what I would like to do is I would like to refresh what we did. So, and then I would like to say, well, we need to transition now to a local server. So, okay. Okay, so we can probably start here. All right. So let's start. Hey, Salvador. Oh yeah, you just got right on time. We're gonna start you now. This stuff, Python, whatever. All right. So let's start. So let's start by refreshing what we did in the previous video when we wrote a Python client, a Python WebSocket client. If you remember, I had on my desktop in a folder called Python WebSockets, I had a client.py file which had this code. And this code was the code that we were using as a WebSocket client to connect to all this like ball chasing synchronization stuff that had been developed previously in the playlist. So what we have here is that now I can run either from the terminal, I can open a terminal here, or what we're going to do is we're actually going to start using Visual Studio Code terminal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the client, to Visual Studio, and I'm going to click on terminal, start new terminal. And then you're going to see that all the way down there, I have in my case, I have a PowerShell bash that I can use to run commands here. So what I can do is I can go to the folder where my client script is, and I can type here cd, and then I can paste that folder there, and I can type dir, and you can see that I can see client.py, right? And then if I now type Python and then client.py, then you can see that I have, you can't really see because there's no, but I have connected to the glitch server. And now if I click on, maybe I have to refresh this. So now if I click on the ball chasing, you can see that it synchronizes and that it sends messages to the WebSocket client that I have connected here, okay? So, all right, so this is good. And then what we're going to do now is that instead of using the client to connect to the glitch server that we have developed in the previous videos, we're going to do everything locally. So I'm going to just close this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a WebSocket server that is going to be written in Python that is going to live on my local machine. The way I'm going to do that is by opening, I'm going to close this here, all right? And I'm going to type CLS to clear the screen. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file, for example. So I'm going to create new file, and then I'm going to save this file with Control S. I'm going to save it as, for example, server echo.py. And as I do that, I'm going to dock this side by side. So I'm going to put this on the side here. And then I now have the two scripts side by side, the client and the server. All right. So I think at this point, we are ready to start working on the server. And then something that I'm also going to do for the sake of development, which is very nice on Visual Studio Code, for example, is that I'm going to create two terminals. So here I'm going to go to the terminal that I have, and I'm going to split it. And therefore, now I have two terminals, one on the right and one on the left. This one, I'm also going to cd into the folder that has my scripts. So now you can type dir or ls, and you can see like all the files that you have on your system. And then, because I will use this to run the server on the right-hand side, and I will use this terminal to run the client on the left-hand side, okay? So I think at this point, we're ready to start writing our server implementation. The way we're going to do that is going to be simple. We're going to start by importing the relevant libraries. So we're going to just import the same libraries as we did for the client, which is going to be the WebSockets library. And we're also going to import async.io, which is the library that allows us to do asynchronous, non-imperative programming inside of Python. So basically the idea of like having a function that is waiting and that responds when we get particular events are recent, right? Recent? I don't know how to say that. Anyway, I'm also going to define a new variable that is going to be the port, which is something that I didn't do before, which is going to be, for example, 7890. This is going to be the port that local connections need to connect inside of my computer. So that's a new variable that I'm creating. And then just for the sake of login, I'm just going to say started the server and it's listening on port, for example. And then here I'm going to type, oops, I'm going to do this. Yes. So, and then I'm going to use the string function to convert this number into a string that can be connected to this string here. All right. So, so if I now, just for the sake of trying, if I now go here and I type Python server and I start my server, you can see that I get this message, but nothing happens because it just executes and it finishes, right? And I have I'm just going to change this server listening on port, blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay. The next thing that I need to do is I need to define a function that is going to be the function that is going to be running on the WebSocket server, so that whenever a socket connects, a WebSocket connects, a client connects, then that function is going to handle the behavior of the server for that client. And in this particular example that I'm going to write right now, we're going to write a simple echo server, which means that whatever message comes from a client, that message is going to be bounced back to that client. So whatever the client sends to the server is going to send that back to the client as well. So how can we do that? Well, we're going to define an asynchronous function, a function that is going to be living and listening. And then we're going to define it and we're going to call it, for example, echo. And this function is going to take two arguments, which are going to be the WebSocket and the path. The WebSocket is going to be an instance of the WebSocket client. So whenever we need to refer to the client, we can use this argument here. And path, we're actually not going to be using it. So if you don't want to use it, it's also fine. And then we're just going to print some acknowledgement message. So for example, because this function is going to execute whenever there is a new connection. So we can just write here a client just connected. All right, just to make sure that we have some logs here on the screen. And then here, what we need to do is now we need to implement the logic of whenever a message comes from the client, then send that message back to the client. So what we can do is we can write what's called an asynchronous for loop, which is whenever we get, it looks something like this. So whenever we find a message that is coming from the WebSocket, what we need to do is whatever we specify in this function. So what we're going to do is, for example, I'm going to write a message. So I received a message from the client, and the message is going to be whatever message. All right. And then I'm going to send that same message back to the client. So, and I'm going to do that with an await keyword, which is going to be WebSocket.send and then the message back. And we could actually add something here like back, or for example, response, or pong, like when it's as in ping pong, for example, whatever. What is going on? Exactly. All right. Now, let me break this down a little bit for you. So what is happening here is that while we need the asynchronous and the await, because the WebSocket client may actually be sending several messages very fast to the server. And then what we need to do here is we need to write some code that makes sure that it takes one message at a time, it deals with that message, and then it doesn't start over again until that message has been handled, has been dealt with. This is why we have here a for each, so that we iterate over all the messages that might be coming very fast to the server, but we do it in an asynchronous way, so that the next loop of this message doesn't happen until we know that we have sent back the message to the client. I'm not sure if I did a good job at explaining this, but basically imagine the situation that the server receives 1,000 messages very fast. What this code does is it goes over each one of them one at a time, and it reads that message, it sends back that message to the client, and it makes sure that it doesn't go and send the next one, it doesn't deal with the next one until this sending back to the client has been complete. Okay? I don't know if I did a good job again at explaining this, but I hope you trust me on that one. Okay? All right. Now, and remember that whenever we have an await, we need to wrap it with an async, and that's why we have these two clauses together here. Alrighty. So at this point, the behavior of the server is ready, but we have not really implemented anything that uses that behavior as part of a WebSocket server. So that part we can do by using, for example, from the WebSocket server, we can use the serve function, all right? And then we can pass in the echo function that we have designed. And then the second argument is going to be where this server is going to be living. So that's going to be localhost, which is a term that refers to this machine. I think we saw that on previous videos, all right? And then the port that we're going to be running this server on. That is going to be whichever number we have defined here for this variable, okay? And what this function does is that it returns an instance of that server. So that we can keep it inside of a variable. So for example, I'm going to call this start server, and then I'm going to keep the whatever I'm getting back, the instance of the new server, I'm going to keep it inside of this variable. Last but not least, we need to actually start the server in an asynchronous way. So the way we're going to do that is from the async.io library, we're going to get the event loop. And then once we get the event loop, we're going to run until it's complete. We're going to run that instance of the start server that we have defined. So we're going to run that once, and then we're going to make sure that the event loop after that is running forever, so that the server stays alive, so that the server doesn't stop working. Okay, so I think we are ready to give this a try. The way we're going to do that is in the terminal that I have on the right hand side. I'm going to start my server, so I'm going to say Python and then server echo. It's very difficult to read. I don't know how to make this terminal larger. So, but you can see that I get an acknowledgement saying that the server is listening on port 7890, which means that the server should be fine at this point. Now, let's try connecting from the client to the server. In order to do that, the first thing that I need to do is I need to change the URL, because the URL right now is pointing to the server that I put on Glitch, whereas this server is living on my machine. The address of my machine is, as we discussed in previous videos, is this special IP that is called 127.0.0.1. And then, with a colon, I need to specify the port, which is 7890. All right, I'm going to save this, and then in my other terminal, so that I have the two terminals side by side, I'm going to type Python and then client. And what that's going to do is that it's going to start the client and it's going to immediately connect to this server that I have running here in the other terminal. Let's give that a try. So as I do that, you can see that I get a message here that says that the client just connected, which sounds like it's working well, but nothing happened. There was like no messaging, no echo going back and forth, which is kind of weird. So I'm going to stop the client by going to the other terminal and hitting Control C to stop the process. And then you can see that I get a lot of errors, and I also get quite some errors here on the server, but the server has not actually stopped. It has just dumped like a bunch of errors. So we will deal with that later. Okay. So I'm going to clear all those errors by typing CLS, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change my client so that as soon as I connect to the server, I send a greet message like, hello server, how are we doing? The only thing that I need to do is here inside of the async connection to the WebSocket server, what I need to do is I need to send a message, but I need to send it with a wait so that I don't start dealing with the following code until this has resolved positively. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take the WebSocket instance and I'm going to send a message that is going to be, for example, hello server, something like that. Okay. I'm going to save that, and then I am going to hit the arrow key up until I find again Python client, and then I'm going to run this again. And can you see what just happened? So the client connected to the server. Then I got a message here saying that the client just connected. And then I got another message saying that I received a message from the client, hello server. And because I sent the message back with this, you can see that in the client now, I am receiving the message that is called Pong, and is hello server. Hooray! So it looks like this is working. The client connected to the server, it sent a message, the server received the message, and it ponged it back to the client. Yoo-hoo! So we have the basics working here. How can we make this a little cooler, better, and like avoid all this like clutter of error messages? How can we do that? All right, how can we do that? Okay, so we're going to handle the disconnections first. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to improve the server a little bit so that it doesn't dump all these messages when a client disconnects. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the client with Control C. I'm also going to stop the server with Control C, and I'm going to clear all the clutter, CLS and CLS. All right, and then the idea is that the error messages from the server are caused because when the client disconnects, there is no WebSocket that we can cycle through and that we can send messages back to. So basically, this code here fails because the WebSocket is not present anymore. So when we want to deal with errors or with exceptions in computer code, we typically use try-catch structures, which are also present in Python. So the way we're going to do that is that we're going to use try, and then we're going to wrap all this code, the code that we think can be faulty, into a try clause. And then what we need to do is we need to handle the exceptions that might arise from this code here. So we could just say like, if there is an exception, then just print a message like something went wrong, something like that, for example. And let's give that a try. So I'm going to run the server, I'm going to run the client, everything goes well, but then when I stop the client, you see that now instead of the whole dump, what I get is a simple like something went wrong, okay? But that is because the only thing that we have done is we have added a general handler for any exception that might happen. In this case, because we know that we want to be able to handle precisely the case of a client disconnecting, then there is particular exceptions that we can target, because when an exception is raised, it's typically raised with a particular signature. What that means is that, for example, in the case of the WebSocket library, we can go to whenever in the WebSocket exceptions we find an exception that is connection closed. All right. So if that is the exception that we have found, just give it a name. For example, it's going to be E. And then here the message is going to be different. It's going to be a client just, oops, sorry for that. A client just disconnected. And then we're going to print the error message just to make sure that we see it. So I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to CLS, and I'm going to start the server again. I'm going to start the client again. I'm going to disconnect the client, and you can see now that the message is a client just disconnected, and the code is the connection was abnormally closed for no reason, whatever that means, okay? All right, so that looks much better because now I can connect and disconnect, connect and disconnect, and things are much better handled now. And so I'm just going to remove printing the error message, and I think this is going to be good for handling the error of the disconnection. So I'm going to close my server, I'm going to close my client, and everything there is disconnected. All right, and I think we are ready now for a bit more of enhanced server behavior. What are we going to do next? Sorry, there is construction going on. All right, what are we going to do next? We're going to do a server echo broadcaster. What does that mean? It means that it's going to send messages to anyone except the client that sends the message. All right, how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? I think what I would like to do now is to implement a broadcasting echo server. What that means is that it's still going to be an echo server. It's still going to bounce messages from the clients back to the clients. But the only thing that we're going to change is that if we have multiple clients connected, then whatever message is received by one client is going to be sent to the rest of the clients, but except for the one that sent the message, so that whoever sends the message is not receiving the same message back. So how are we going to do that? Well, first of all, I'm going to save a new file. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to write here server echo broadcast. All right. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is, what I need to do is the first thing that I need to do is I need to keep track of how many clients are connected to my server. So what I can do for that is I can create an array, or I can create a list or whatever But in this case, we're going to use a set as a data structure so that we can be sure that there's going to be no duplicates in that list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new variable that is going to be connected, for example, and then here I'm going to create a new set. All right, and then what we're going to do is whenever a client connects, we're going to add that client to the set. So we're going to say connected.add, and we're going to add an instance of the WebSocket that just connected. So this set is going to keep a copy of all the WebSockets that are currently connected to my server. And then what we're going to do is we're going to whenever we receive a message from the WebSocket, what we're going to do is we're going to keep printing this message to the console, but instead of sending the response to that same WebSocket, what we're going to do is we're going to iterate over all the sockets that are in the connected list. So, for example, we're going to say for connected in connected. So for each one of the sockets that is in the list of connected sockets, what we're going to do is if that one, the one that we just chose, is different than the one that sent the message, which is WebSocket, because we are in this function, then if it is different, then await, connect, let's send a message. For example, someone said, and then the message. Okay? And the rest is going to stay the same. Correct? Yes. So let's give this a try. So I'm going to write Python and then server echo broadcast. So now I'm going to start the server. And then here I'm going to create a new client. So you can see that this looks like it's starting to work because the client did send a message, hello server. And we know that because the server actually logged that. The problem is that no one else received that message because there's no more clients here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here to this terminal, and I'm going to click here on the tiny icon that is a split screen, and I'm going to create a new terminal, and I'm going to create another terminal and another terminal. So I'm going to create 5 terminals, and I don't know if you can look at, maybe I don't need 5, maybe 3 is enough. But maybe you can see here, I still have the server on this one. All right, but I have 2 other terminals. So I'm going to copy the route of where everything is, CD, and I'm going to paste the route, and CLS, and then CD, I'm going to paste the route, and CLS to clear the screen. All right, so now I have these 2 other terminals that are on the same folder. So now what I can do here is Python, and I can start the client. And then as I do that, what should happen is we should see here messages for the connection. And then this terminal here should receive the message that this client is sending to the server. So let's see that. So I'm going to click that. You saw here a client just connected. I received a message, hello server. And then this client, the one that was previously connected, received someone said hello server. So the message that this client sent to this server was bounced to this other client. And then we're going to try with the third client as well. So I'm going to type Python, and I'm going to say client, and then what we should expect is it's the same message here, but these 2 other clients receiving this message. So let's try that. So I did that, we got the acknowledgement, and then we got the message for this client, and we got the message for this client as well. So, yoo-hoo! So this is working. It looks like we have, it looks like this is working. But I think if I close this up and I now connect another server again, we are going to get errors. Anyway, something that I would like to do is I would like to make sure that if we have an error because the connection is closed, I would like to make sure that from the connected list, I would like to remove whichever WebSocket whichever WebSocket has left the body. All right. So that's why I'm going to add here to the try. I'm going to add a finally, which is going to be the part of the try catch clause that is always going to execute no matter the exception. And we're going to make sure that we remove that WebSocket from the list of connected sockets. Okay. This is just for making sure that things are clean and well written. All right. Okay, so I think you can't really see this. So I think this is what I wanted to cover in this video. This is a way of making a simple WebSocket server using Python. We have written a simple echo server, a more complex echo broadcast, but now you can see how you can just add more behaviors. You can take the message that is coming in and you can use that message to change the behavior of the server, to send other data to the clients, to connect it to operations, whatever. The sky is your limit now with this, okay? All right, wonderful. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you like the content, maybe consider liking this video or even subscribing to the channel, hitting notifications on, and all those things that help us send the message across. And in the meantime, maybe you want to consider continue with this playlist and see what other things we have that we can have fun with using WebSockets. See you on the next video. Bye. Alrighty, and now I need to write the intro. I need to record the introduction. All right. All right. All right, so let me add a few comments here and then, okay. Sending a greeting message. All right. All right, so that's going to be one thing. It's going to be the port is going to be connected client. Send a a response to all connected clients except sender. All right. Handle disconnecting clients. All right. And then, all right. Start the server. All right. All right, so this is going to be okay. Oh, the microphone is not. All right, I'm going to record the introduction, and then we're going to call it a day. We're going to do a little bit of Q&A and social, etc., and that's going to be it. Okay. Hi, this is Jose Luis and welcome to another video in the series Fun with WebSockets. In this video, I would like to teach you how to write a WebSocket server in Python. And the way we're going to do this in this video is we're going to write a simple echo server, which is going to send messages back to whoever connects to the server. But we're also going to write a broadcast echo server, which means a server that is going to send an incoming message to all the other clients except for the sender. So in a broadcasting way, which is going to look something like this. So if you see the terminal that I have here, I'm going to start running the server, which I just started. And then I'm going to run the first client, which is going to connect to the server, but it didn't get any, and it sent a message. And now the second one is going to connect, and the message that is coming in sending this one is received by the server and is broadcasted to the other client. And the third server client that I'm going to connect is going to send a message to the server, and that message is going to be broadcasted to the first one and to the second one. All right. So I'm going to explain, we're going to be using the code that we have used in the previous videos for the client, but we're going to be writing the server from scratch. Okay. And I would also like to thank Salvador from the Parametric Camp community who helped me put together this example, and hence here we are today. Okay, so thank you very much for that, Salvador. And before we start, no, we can actually start, I think. Let's get hands-on and let's see how to write a WebSocket server in Python. All right. Yoo-hoo! Okay, so alrighty. Oh, I'm kind of tired. How's everyone doing? Are you okay? All right. So I think I'm ready to start Friday today. Any questions, comments, suggestions, concerns, anything you want to share with us? I see a few people connecting to the server today. It's a pleasure, Salvador, un placer. All right, so I think I'm going to close all these servers. Oh, all right. All right, I'm going to close all this. I'm going to close these files here. And I'm going to cut this and tutorial. And fun with WebSockets, Python WebSockets. Yes, we're going to replace all of that and we're good. Okay, and then we have this is done, and this is done. Okay. All right. Well, if we're good here, then I think we can call it a day. I'm ready to start Friday now. I have a lot of work to do actually today, so I don't think I'm gonna start that early. But yes, so yeah. Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much. I think I will be connecting next Friday next week. Hopefully, I'm not entirely sure about that. So if you want to stay up to date, just join the Discord, join our social media, subscribe to the Google Calendar, and you have all these different ways of getting notifications if we're going live. But especially if you hit notification, if you subscribe to the channel and you hit notifications, you will get pop-ups and emails whenever we go live. Okay? So it was a big pleasure. Thank you very much to everyone, and I will see you on the next live stream. Bye bye.